Our game this evening will be played with the PUL game rules. We will have 4 12-minute quarters with 2 minutes in between quarters and a 10-minute halftime.
And it looks like we've got Zemena Montana, Elizabeth Mosquera, Byron Liu, Raymond Mendoza,
there will be no buzzer beater.
Jakeem Polk out there. I think it.
Chidake.
Chidake Iramanya. As well as is that Anastasia Foster down there? Is that what I see? No, it's Shanique Crawford.
That's right.
Ultimate was traditionally played with a unique emphasis on respect for your opponents and self-appreciation. And the color of Ultimate is
on the other side for Team Tuba, Delrico Johnson. Looks like he's getting ready to pull. See Manuela Cardenas, Matt Smith, Ben Fang.
That looks like Michelle Yang, Georgia Say, and Jaime Perez.
So Delrico Johnson, better known as Rico, I would say, with the opening pull. And Team Tuba in the whites heads towards Team Simpson in the blacks. Montana over to Mendoza on the break side. Just matchup defense to start things off from Team Tuba. Mosquera in the middle. Liu and Polk back-to-back hard unders. And gets the reset back off. Mendoza centers to Crawford. Now here's Liu with room to take a long shot. Puts it up for Polk with separation. Can he get there before it gets out of bounds? He does. Towing the back line. And an opening hold for Team Simpson. Liu to Polk.
Fantastic away throw from Byron Liu to Jakeem Polk.
You can see just a shot from Liu. Gets it out in front of Polk. No hope for the defender really to get back in front of that. All it had to do was drop in before he ran out of room. And Jakeem made sure it did. Nice job there offensively. I mean, that was a smooth offensive point. Looked like a team that had been practicing together, able to get to the break side effectively.
It's great when you have a team of players that are all good ultimate players. It makes it pretty easy to play together.
One more time. Thank you.
So a first look at the Team Tuba offense now. New set of personnel out. Pull goes up from Sun Choi. Honors Olsen fields it and centers the disc. Some quick movement between Dana Rose and Alicia Dixon. Badgett resets to Dixon. Now Abdullah taking a deep look of his own, and it drops right into the pocket of Devin Cox. So quick hold to match. Now it's 1-1. Both teams scoring with deep throws to start. Hitting pretty similar looking away shots. Do you find, Jimmy, that it's a little bit easier, especially in the beginning of the game, to start with the deep game, to attack deep?
I think that starting the game off by attacking the deep space makes the rest of the game easier to play offensively. It keeps the defense on their toes and forces them to recognize that the field is a big space and they have to defend both the deep space and then small ball if the team shows that they can play that.
So both teams have shown that they can stretch the field. Gabe Hernandez gets the first throw off, and then another deep shot, this time for Marie Perivier. She tracks it down and now into the red zone. Drops it off for her brother, Jacques. Hernandez back to Perivier. Chupsi Lima finds Andrea Palmer at the front cone, and just like you predicted, Jinmi, from long ball to small ball.
Lima 2, number 9, Andrea Palmer for the goal. Set up on an excellent away cut from Marie Perivier.
I really liked that Chupsi Lima ran down and followed the play after Marie caught the deep shot. And even though she wasn't the next throw, Marie holstered it. But Chupsi was in place early and at the front of the stack. And I think that put her into a really great position to throw the assist just then.
Absolutely. Lima hustling down on the huck and in position to take advantage. Ends up getting the assist to Palmer.
We see you dancing.
So 3 points, 3 holds. Yet to get a turnover. Game's at a blistering pace. But unlike in USA Ultimate, doesn't matter how many they score, we're not going to stop early. But at this rate, we're going to see a high-scoring affair, which I think the crowd at home is going to be plenty happy with.
Definitely. I think from the commentators' booth also. I'm excited to see that.
There's a lot of offensive firepower here. And a violation here on the pull. Not sure if it was offsides or perhaps a time violation. So Team Simpson getting ready to re-pull.
And a casual re-pull coming up.
Mosquera with the pull. Just having a tremendous season in the PUL. Full Revolution. Still so young. Speaking of young, her teammate Manuela Cardenas putting up a huck that's hanging. There's a pack underneath it. Doesn't matter. Michelle Yang skies the pack and dishes it over to Georgia Say for the goal. Yang making a big play for Team Tuba.
To number 13, Georgia C.
And look, just a pack of players developing underneath. And Yang pays them no mind. Goes up with 2 hands. Gets the easy continue throw for the score.
So much composure. Yang actually has a mixed background, playing with Atlanta Bucket for several years. This year, she made the transition over to the women's game and will be playing on Ozone this club season.
Yang's played at a couple different clubs in the Southeast over the past few seasons. I think probably known for really making explosive plays like the one we just saw. And, making the really difficult play sets up the really easy assist. Badgett with the pull for Team Tuba. To be received by Sun Choi. Choi over to Lee. Claudia Vasquez gets open on the open side. Mark Rawls getting his first touch of the point. Now Choi with an OI forehand towards the end zone, but just beyond the reach of Foster. So it'll be our first break chance of the game.
First turnover of the game.
Horizontal stack set up. Play initiates with Zubair Abdullah. Now Badgett in the middle of the field.
Call on the field.
Looks like there was a pick called.
Justin Badgett out of Vanderbilt.
That's right, anchor down.
Yeah, Vanderbilt alum yourself.
I sure am. Oh,
And a turnover there. Nariah Sims unable to bring that in, so another chance at a hold. Lee across to Vasquez. All the way from one sideline to the other in just a couple of throws for Team Simpson. Calvin Williams. Lee really going to work in the backfield right now, but rushes the break throw, and another break opportunity now for Team Tuba. Abdullah pump fakes it, but is reset too hot to handle. Short field chance quickly converted. Nice bidding catch by Felicia Yang to finish that one off with a hold for Team Simpson, 3-2.
I like the throws and the looks that Sun Choi was making during that point. I think that his ability to see players and space that was in front of those players allowed that offense to continue moving. He made some throws that weren't really obvious during that point.
Sun Choi is probably not someone I think known on the national scale, despite a number of years playing with the Atlanta Hustle and Chain Lightning. But I can say that I have watched him steadily increase his ability every single year. Basically every time I've ever seen Sun, he is slightly better than he was the last time I saw him. And that continued growth comes from a great work ethic. It's been really fun to see him develop as a player and blossom.
An emphatic we want Jaime cheer from the crowd.
Jenny Choi working the backfield with AJ Beard.
A nice clearing cut by Jesse Bolton.
Cartagena
Visionary throw from AJ Beard to open up the field.
to Christian Boxley. Truck stop cutter gets the disc over to Beard. And yet another truck stop cutter. Now Johnson. Beard with a great throw to space for Cartagena. And she finishes that off with a little toss to Boxley for a tiptoe on the sideline. Makes it 3-3.
To Christian Boxley in the end zone.
Cartagena doing a great job creating space, getting some help from a great throw from Beard. Boxley just in the right space to get that continue. So we're seeing a couple more defensive opportunities generated. But so far we are breakless, 3-3 with
Crowd's emphatic cheers being answered.
about 7 minutes left here in the first quarter. And the pull going up. But offsides by Jaime Perez or his teammates. And I think in the Premier Ultimate rules there is no warning for offside. You get the offsides call, penalties
Penalty for the offsides. Polk.
issued right away, so
Half-field.
midfield possession. Montagna over to Lou. Back to Mosquera. And a player down. It's going to stop play. Chidike Uramanya. Looks to be all right. It's been a little difficult to quite get a great read on the Team Tuba, or on the Team Simpson offense. Their handlers doing a great job getting side to side. Cutter's just kind of attacking down the middle, but still look like they're trying to figure out their timing with one another.
Yeah, especially for some of these players that come from single gender ultimate, playing in the mixed game, the timing is a little bit different than playing just men's or just women's.
Attempted poach block from Fang on the reset to Mosquera. I think there was a pick called. So disc going back to Mendoza. Mendoza about 3 yards outside of the end zone. DC area lefty now looking back for a reset and finds Montagna. Into the vertical stack they go. Mendoza fakes open Mosquera and then dishes it to her for the score. So another hold. Nice red zone possession, just like we saw them practicing.
Very nice. Ray Mendoza catching the pass from Shani. Ray does a really good job of using his fakes to communicate with Mosquera on where he wants her to go on that, and they make eye contact and complete the pass.
Absolutely. Mendoza able to create a lot of room with that fake, set up by being able to get to the break side, so the defender really has to overcommit. And then Mosquera reads the communication so well, and she's such a great target. Catches that score.
I had a friend in college that had a word for using your fakes as communication, and the term she used for that was communifakes. Thought it was quite effective for teaching that concept and using that as just one word.
I love a good portmanteau. Like, just you don't know how to get two words to fit, just smash them together.
Sometimes it works out.
I'm a big Ultimate Language nerd. Close one there on the centering pass, but Abdullah looks completely unfazed. Badgett collects the reset. Low throw. Saved by Dixon. Her shot to the end zone for the speedy Cat Smith. Doesn't have enough air underneath it. Williams checks it in.
Wow. Mark
And
Rawls with the footwork.
Miscommunication, though, in the backfield. Rawls' great footwork goes unrewarded. Instead, it is a very close possession now.
Number 63, Zubair Abdullah, set to pick up the disc.
Team Tuba, one throw away potentially from tying this back up. And easy as pie. Abdullah to Dixon to make it 4-4.
Zubair Abdullah to number 22, Alicia Dixon for the score. Team Tuba back on the board.
Dixon, another player with a lot of mixed experience. You see her just setting up that move with a little shift to the left, moves the defender's shoulder a little bit, and that's just enough space with someone as quick as Dixon. Played a number of years with Philadelphia Amp. The last season she was in the women's division with Molly Brown out of Denver.
Aria believes in changing the world through Ultimate. Learn more at aria.com. Thank you, Aria, for supporting the Color Ultimate and Project Diversity.
So we continue to get holds, although we started to see a little bit of changes of possession, but neither defense has really threatened
Signing matchups for his team.
the opposing offense yet with a break.
Slowly escorting himself off the field.
When you're a D-line and you get so many fewer possessions with the disc, how do you really get your offense going?
Coach Tuba Bensajaja mentioned the only thing
I think that there are different methods for getting the disc moving on offense. You can pick it up and go for the fast break. You have to have someone else on your team that's on the same page as you in order to do that fast break, or you have a system set up to open space and get the disc moving.
Lots of space and disc movement right now for Team Simpson. Perivier's throw made a little exciting by Hernandez. Ari Lozano up the backhand side. But the throw to Hernandez a little behind. Lots of pressure there from Boxley to generate the turn.
Gypsy, your coach is watching.
AJ Beard brings the disc in. Played her college ball at Rice. Deep throw for Johnson. Johnson goes up with one hand, can't catch it. Takes 2 tries. Comes down with it at a timeout on the goal line. If you try twice to catch it with one hand, is that like a two-handed catch?
Getting it the touch once with one hand and then with the other, sure, we can count that as 2 hands.
So a couple bobbles from each way. Look at Rico making the play. Sometimes you got to make your own highlight. And then sees nothing going on. Like you talked about, sometimes you need a plan. If you don't have anybody on the same page as you, got to take that TO. So timeout here between the two teams. Gives us time to tell you that this broadcast is brought to you by Aria Discs, the official disc of color of Ultimate ATL. Precision crafted with high-level play in mind and supporting growth and accessibility with every disc sold, Aria believes in changing the world through Ultimate. Learn more at aria.com. Thank you, Aria, for supporting the color of Ultimate and Project Diversity. So timeout already concluded. Both teams have been very effective in these situations. Tremendous defense from Lozano. Doesn't matter. Cross field. Beard gets the goal. So we get our first break. You could see that shutdown defense from Lozano and high stall. You just put it out to the break side and hope it works out. Maybe Rico had a little more than hope on that one as throws the offhand scuba to Beard for the goal. So interesting enough, we are now 9 goals into this game. And
with the first break of the game.
As far as I can tell, I think there is one player who has had multiple goals or assists. So really distributed scoring so far for the two teams. Zubair Abdullah does have 2 assists. But other than that, everybody mixing it up, showing love all across the roster.
Love to see that.
We've seen lots of different players in the backfield, different players catching the pull, different players pulling. Perivier, who is just completed her freshman year of college. Lou, hammer, the crowd loves it. And the near catch gets people excited but does not get a goal. Iramonia trying to pull that in, but can't come up with it. Sinagini taps it in with the throw over to Matt Smith. Cardenas versus Mosqueda. Worth the ticket price alone. Matt Smith with lots of space. Perez. Back to Smith. And both teams have looked very comfortable in these short field sets where they can condense into this vertical stack, and it becomes a lot about skill. Plenty of skill on display with that IO break from Cardenas, but earned back with a block by Aramunia. Always love to see somebody get it back for their team.
Definitely.
Still seeing just matchup defenses from both teams. Not even a lot of poaching. You've had a chance to get to know the teams a little bit. Do you think we might see a little bit of zone, a little bit of trickery?
I don't think it's out of the question. Very nice.
Beautiful throw. Aramonia getting another one in now. Toss to Perivier for the goal. Perivier's been effective deep and in the backfield. I mean, she's having a great game.
Yeah. I think Marie is one of those players that has the potential to be a well-rounded player behind the disc and in the cutter space.
For all those fans in the crowd right now screaming, please scream louder. Players on the field cannot hear you.
Marie Perivier also, to me, is so natural. The game just comes to her. So when, on top of the fact that she is a great leader who can work really hard, like, it clicks. I've seen her play at a young age. I remember going to a club team practice when she was, I think, a junior in high school. She had a broken hand or broken wrist and was playing with her offhand and still might have been the best player at this practice.
That surprises me 0%.
She had a tremendous college nationals. Was named one of the Ulti-World Rookies of the Year. Is off to a great start to her elite career. Not a great start to the point for Team Tuba, but Dana Rose turns those lemons into lemonade with a block, and now the quick strike for Sims, but it just bends away from her. And Sims, who plays for Carleton,
Number 00 Anders Olsen for the try.
out of the Seattle area, can't track that down, so disc back to Simpson. So we wind down to the final 60 seconds of the first quarter. And a little throw into traffic. Rose in the area. Short field now for Tuba. A reminder that the quarter will end with a final possession once the clock gets to 0 as Badgett streaks up the line. And a sneaky throw to the break side there for Kat Smith.
Number 25, Justin Badger with the assist. Number
6 to
12,
5.
Smith.
Badgett, after going up the line, just has the momentum of the defender continuing to that open side. Again, another example of a player using that momentum and that fake to keep the defense going to the open side and free up the break side. So Badgett able to drop that in for Smith. Right on the spot for the goal.
And Badgett is a young player, a recent graduate of Vanderbilt University. And as he's been developing his game, one thing that he mentioned he has been working on a lot is his throws. So good to see him being productive, throwing assists in this game.
Does he have more time at Vanderbilt? Or he just? Oh, you mentioned he just graduated.
Yeah, I believe he just graduated.
If I'm not mistaken, I actually think from my time at High School National Invite, there are a couple of pretty notable recruits headed to Vanderbilt to replenish that pipeline. I believe I can't remember if it's David Atwood or Kai Duversala from Seattle. One of those two is headed to Tulane, the other to Vanderbilt. Both very, very talented.
Great to hear that.
Vanderbilt has a couple of recruits right now. LNU, really great freshman season for her.
Yes, out of the Triangle area. What played a huge part for them. And they also picked up a new coach, Victor Wu.
As we see Byron Liu toss a hammer over the top of the stack to Jack Perivier. We see a little Perivier celebration. I think they've played every point together.
That's fun to see two siblings that get to play together on an ultimate field. How often does that happen?
Team Tuba taking food
I mean, when you're that good, probably whenever they feel like it. But have you ever played with any of your siblings?
I had the opportunity to play Summer League with my younger brother one year, and that was a really special experience because none of my other siblings play Ultimate. So very cool to have that experience with my younger brother.
As we see the Peruviers celebrating together. Neither of my siblings play. I have thrown a disc with my brother. He is bad at it if he's watching. Good at soccer, bad at Ultimate. But you know what? He just needs to practice. I tell him that. He doesn't care. So just a few seconds here. So barring a quick turnover, this will be the last possession of the first quarter. So if Team Tuba can convert here, can carry a 1-goal lead into our first break. Isolation cut for Manuela Cardenas. Cardenas pointing out where she wants the cutters to go. I mean, you just don't see a lot of players her age who are directing traffic, but she's also been playing for 10 years or whatnot. Underneath, dishing to Sinagini. Sinagini loves the long ball. A hanger. Perez versus Mendoza, and Perez goes up for the slam dunk. Mendoza calling a foul, I believe. Perez maybe appealing to the crowd. Let's take another look. A little bit, I think I see a little bit of arm on the shoulder from Perez, but I kind of think that arm contact was really actually initiated by Mendoza.
And it looks like the call was retracted and the goal stands.
So that'll make it 7-6 as we go into our first quarter break. So the teams will take a break for just about 2 minutes. We're going to take a quick break and be right back with you in just a moment.
The first quarter. If your number is called, please head up to the concession stand located at the top of the seating area. Again, head to the concession merchandise stand to claim your prize. Our winning raffle ticket number 0380221.
So welcome back as we are wrapping up our first quarter break. Just 2 minutes between the quarters, nice and brief. Enough time for you to get up and grab a snack from the couch, then sit back down for the other 3 quarters of what should be an exciting game. I mean, this was a high-flying first half, Jimmy.
It's been exciting to watch. The offense has been good. Some defensive plays have been made, and great athleticism shown on the field.
Absolutely. I mean, these players are out. You can see the skill level and that athleticism and the way they're attacking space, but also how great the handlers have been at keeping the disc moving. We've seen a couple of miscommunication errors in the backfield, but not a lot of execution mistakes. I mean, most players are showing a real comfort with their rounds, really opening up the field for one another by working sideline to sideline.
And we're about to get underway at the start of our second quarter of play.
Love to see teams opening up the field horizontally as well as vertically. We saw those deep shots early on in the game, and seeing them swing it as well, They're using the whole field.
2007. Visit Spin on the web at Spin Ultimate.
The crowd's really filled out here at St. Pius. I'd say a rough estimate, of which I have zero expertise, maybe 250. And people still filing in to catch this one.
Set to pull. The start of the second
Team
quarter.
Simpson
Team Simpson.
on the pull.
Set to receive, we have Team Tuba.
Choi getting ready to pull. So we are back underway. Also worth noting the pulling's been pretty good.
His center
Yes,
is
full
Zuga.
80-yard pulls. That one just by Sun
Finds
Choi.
Justin Baggett on the under.
Devin
with the
Cox
wonderful
getting the
foul
disc
wearing friction gloves.
to Dana Rose.
Dana Rose up to Anders Olsen.
A lot of local players getting touches right now. And now Badgett looking crossfield with the hammer. A bidding Cox. Can't quite catch that. Can't stick the landing.
Connection on the hammer throw from Justin Badgett to Devin Cox.
Mark Rawls
Mark
getting ready to pick up the disc.
Simpson set to pick up the disc.
Colorado Mama Bird star. Low throw saved by Choi.
No stranger to the dirt.
Choi now looking deep.
Puts up
A one-on-one between Rose and Yang catches the deflection. What focus.
I think that's actually, that's not Yang. Number 1 is Felicia Yang, also known as Lish.
Lish coming up with a big catch there. Gets the dish over to Williams, and he's got a stylish Scuba for the score.
Kelvin Williams
Very nice.
answering the call by Delrico Johnson for who can throw the saucier lefty Scuba.
Just puts that over the head of the defense, and the sliding catch by Calhoun.
We see you, Delrico.
7-7.
Chris Calhoun, a Tennessee Ultimate player originally, and has recently started making the commute to play in Atlanta for Chain Lightning.
He's a player who I can't say that I am very familiar with, but I was watching him during warm-ups, and I was like, who's that guy? He looks good.
He's pretty good.
So I'm very curious to watch him during the course of this game. Jack with the pull.
Justin made to pull the disc out of bounds.
I think that was the first out-of-bounds pull of the game.
I think so. We've had the one offsides and now the one out of bounds. And it looks like Team Tuba is going to take advantage by side stacking, creating some room, isolation for Cartagena. Beard finally able to get it to Cartagena.
Very nice defense by Gabe Hernandez to shut down Del Rico.
Bolton on the break side. Bolton looking deep for Johnson. And that one just turns around Hernandez. Johnson tracks it down.
Number 21, Jesse.
Makes it rain in the end zone.
Rico Johnson for the goal.
8-7. Team Tuba still leads.
Jesse Bolton releasing that for Del Rico Johnson in the end zone. Del Rico Johnson making several hard cuts to attack space, and the first one gets shut down by great person defense by Gabe Hernandez, but Johnson continuing to work hard and allows him to get into the end zone on that one.
So Rico getting to the end zone. He's already got an assist and now adds a goal. While Bolton gets on the stat sheet for the first time this game. The Seattle native, no stranger to Elite Mixed. Pull going up from Perez. Mosqueda looking deep, and that backhand just cuts through the wind for a goal.
Number 15, Elizabeth Mosqueda.
Beautifully lined up.
Beautiful, beautiful throw.
Jimena Montaña for the score.
And it just not enough pressure applied on the mark there by Cardenas, as we get a hefty dose of revolution there. Mosqueda to Montaña past Cardenas. Quick score there for Team Simpson to make it 8-8. That's the thing about Elizabeth Mosqueda is I think there was a time in her career where she was just a big, tall, fast, space-eating cutter and defender. Her throws are now at a dangerous level, like critical mass, huge backhands. She looks really comfortable in the backfield.
Also a great puller. Started off the game early on and pulled a full 80 yards inbounds pull.
Neither of us can say this, but being tall is really helpful when you're pulling. Helps you generate a lot of power. And
Yes.
Mosqueda has a lot of experience in that area.
And an elite athlete, for sure.
Anders Olsen putting up a huck for Sims, who's earned some separation. Now Sims has it about 5 yards out.
Anders Olsen able to connect with
Dixon, Scuba to the end zone.
on the away to Norado Sims.
And we get our first Scuba turnover of the game. Dixon with the red zone giveaway. Lauren Lee checks it in.
And Lauren Lee and Todd Smith guarding each other.
Choi with room. Now tries to go cross field to get it off the sideline, but perhaps a little casual in the throw to Calhoun.
Cutter's struggling to find timing and spacing off of the initiating look.
A pick called as Dixon tracks that down in bounds.
Anders Olsen upping the pace for this.
And this live broadcast of the Color of Ultimate Atlanta is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. End
Wow.
zone. What an
Number 24
interception.
with the visionary defensive block.
Sun Choi picking that off with emphasis. Now looking for the bookends, but Calhoun's going to hang it up. Choi tracks it down.
I love that stop cut by Sun Choi. Instead of continuing into the end zone, he stops and gives that option back.
And that's the lightning horn, ladies and
Then
gentlemen.
into the end zone for Williams. Not sure if this one, it looks like this one will count.
That will be our last score in the delay.
Vasquez up ahead to Williams, and unfortunately there is lightning in the area, so we're going to have to clear the fields for safety. So I think we're going to take a 20-minute delay.
And that was the lightning delay horn sounding. We will be in a 20-minute minimum delay.
So hopefully this clears
until
quickly.
lightning is passed.
If my experience as an Atlanta resident says anything, it's 100% possible that this will pass instantly, or it could sit here for a week. But things change quickly here. We're going to take a break for the next 20 minutes. We will be back with an update for you as soon as we get the chance. Welcome back, folks, to the Color of Ultimate ATL. We have survived the rainstorm,
We will not have a halftime.
which, as I noted before, was a classic southeastern rainstorm. Came through strong and left just as quickly as it arrived. let me tell you how much havoc that applies when you're trying to play in Summer League. Driving across the city, everybody has a 45 to an hour drive. And it's torrential downpours, but still, you still may be playing. So we are back. Keith Rayner joined in the booth by Jinmi Matsunaga, and welcome back. We are picking up with the Team Tuba leading 9-8. And what the adjustment's going to be, we're going to finish out this quarter. We're no longer going to have the lengthy halftime break. I think originally there's a 13-minute halftime planned. We're basically going to treat that like a break between quarters. So it'll be 2 minutes between the quarters. And then we're going to move into the second half where the quarters will be shortened to 8 minutes each. So we will finish out this quarter, which has a little over 8 minutes remaining, 8:31, and then have 2 8-minute quarters in the second half after a brief break.
In the house, make yourself comfortable. We've got plenty more ultimate.
So, Jimmy, have you ever had an experience where you've had to stop play for an extended period of time and then resume a high-level game?
Yes. My most memorable experience was the Eurostars game last year. There was a torrential downpour, and we had just gotten the disc and had a chance to break, and we came out with the disc with possession, and unfortunately we weren't able to convert that one, but the rain definitely played a factor. That rain delay played a factor in that possession.
Well, we'll see if Team Simpson can get it back. Team Tuba on offense. Around break from Beard. Sydney Harris. Resetting back to Beard, but that throw a little too high for Johnson. So disc now in the hands of Team Simpson. Although there's some discussion as the horn has gone off again. We may have some lightning in the area or a horn malfunction. The rain has cleared. Certainly the conditions outside of the booth look far more favorable than they did the last time the horn went off. However, rain not necessarily part of the equation. Lightning really the factor here. So unfortunately, we'll have to take another break. You'll have to just really collect yourself, get the juices flowing, get excited as we come back from our next break. I'm going to stay on for just a little bit as we wait to hear if we have a time delay. Last break was 20 minutes. So stay tuned as we try and figure that out. But Jimmy, you were talking about coming out of breaks. I mean, how do you what strategies do you do? How can you
False alarm! It's not a delay! Game is on!
how do you bounce back from an unexpected stoppage?
I think in those moments you have to keep yourself in the game. Part of that is mental, but I think a large part of that is also physical. When you stop playing for 10 minutes, especially if it's raining and it starts to get cold, your body starts getting cold. So being able to keep your body moving, rolling, stretching will give you a better opportunity when you come back out onto the field after a long delay.
All right, and getting ready to resume this second quarter. This quarter of the Color of Ultimate ATL is sponsored by Friction Gloves.
For those curious at home, much like myself, that sound was not a lightning delay warning again. It was letting us know that we have the all clear to keep playing.
So
Today I learned.
Team Simpson resumes play. And outside in, forehand tracked down by Lozano.
Fine dollar, Lozano.
Mosquera and Crawford working together in the backfield. Vertical set now, but Mosquera's upline throw, too much pace. So disc back to Team Tuba. Still holds that 1 goal lead, 9-8. Beard unmarked right now. But the defense figures it out as Cartagena gets it to Harris.
Josh Fang touching the disc. Josh Fang.
Big around break to
Josh Fang touching the disc again.
Josh Fang.
Josh Fang holding the disc. Josh Fang throwing the disc once more.
But Fang can't complete
Josh
the
Fang
continued
turnover
throw. Now here's Mosquera. Big backhand looking for a receiver and dished into the end zone. Montaña over to Mosquera.
And that's the break that Team Simpson, Team Tuba got the break earlier in the game, and Team Simpson just got it back just then with that score.
That does draw us back on serve. Jakeem Polk sending the backhand deep for Zemania Montaña, and she dishes it over to her Columbia teammate Mosquera.
I like that Jakeem looked upfield, paused for a second before he threw it, locked in, and then released that huck. That was a very nice throw.
Zemania Montaña, followed up by Elizabeth Mosquera for the goal. Team Simpson with the score.
So now we are back to even 9-9. Team Simpson hoping to get a goal here.
Anders Olsen on the sideline, warming up his legs.
Or excuse me, sorry, that's 10, 10,
One more time.
10-8.
There it is. Nice deep squat. Attaboy. Anders Olsen currently in med school at Emory.
No, I think I had that right. I think it was 9-9.
I think it was 9-9.
I think maybe the scoreboard is going to get updated, but I believe it's 9-9, right?
Yeah, that was. There's only been 2 breaks in this game.
Oh no, it was. Okay, sorry. The score going into the delay was actually by Team Simpson, not Team Tuba.
Yes.
That's where it makes mistake. So it was 9-8 Team Simpson. Now it's 10-8 Team Simpson.
Okay.
I'm on board.
Okay.
Out to Jaime Perez.
Perez with lots of room. Not able to add anything to it.
Shocking.
And here's the deep throw. And bobbled, but incomplete. Nice trailing edge
Turnover
effort
Team States.
from Michelle Yang.
Simpson on offense, looking to strike quickly.
But now Team Simpson looking to push the game out to its largest lead. Hernandez muscling a forehand, but it's headed to the break side and batted away by Matt Smith.
Gabe Hernandez shooting it deep. Fantastic D by Matt Smith. Local Atlanta Hustle product and AADL All-Star representative.
Sinagini cross field. Smith and Perivier again in contest, and Perivier's pressure forces Smith up a little early. Short field now for Simpson. Chance to break. Perivier over to Brandon Lee. And Lee with an aggressive cross-field forehand.
Brandon Lee.
Incomplete. So the Georgia product giving the disc back to Team Tuba with a little less than 5 minutes remaining in quarter number 2. Up line from Sinagini to Fang. Both spent some time playing with DC club teams, have that in common. Up line for Cardenas. Manuela resets to Georgia Say, and then the continue around from the lefty. Sinagini finds Matt Smith. Team Tuba responds to make it 10-9.
Sinagini with the saucy break throw to Matt Smith for the goal. Team Tuba brings it back within 1.
A really iconic throw by Leah Sinagini, the lefty around flick. She makes it look so easy.
Jinmi, do you know anybody else who's a lefty who likes that throw?
Another person that's a lefty that likes that throw. Who are you thinking of? Are you thinking of a specific person?
No, maybe not. Maybe not. We won't go there. But I will say, Leah's been throwing around forehands or around like righty backhand marks for forever, as long as I've known her, and it's a throw she's very accustomed to.
Yes, very effective.
Innova is the world leader in distance.
Synergini, one of a few of we were looking at the various players who've won USA Ultimate Club championships during their careers who were playing in this game. Synergini, I believe the first of the players who are here who've done that, not including the coaches.
Yes, and we have a couple in the mixed division that have won national championships with Seattle Mixtape, Jesse Bolton and Ari Lozano.
Synergini scoring hers with Washington, D.C. Scandal. Last club champion is Byron Liu with San Francisco Revolver.
That's right.
This one goes towards the end zone, intercepted by Sims. Mistakenly thinks she's in the end zone. Maybe that threw her off a little bit. A little bit of confusion generates a short field now for Team Simpson.
All right, well, Sims with the turnover. Mark Rawls with the disc.
Rawls gets it off the line.
Strategic reset to start Troy.
A nice grab by Lauren Lee.
Over to Chris Calhoun.
Lee continues that trend after a nice grab with a great around break.
From their college years.
However,
Calhoun, University of Tennessee, results.
Simpson has lost 20 yards or so on this possession, but maintained possession of the disc.
So we have a kick called on the field.
Rawls. Choi now in the middle of the field. A lot of traffic directly in front of him. A lot of cutting going on from this vertical stack of Simpson. But the Hailers maintain possession until Calhoun can put the hammer over the top for Lee, and the team captain brings in the goal to make it 11-9.
Very nice. Krim going through his lick progressions, looking at the around, back to the open side, looking at the break side hammer space, and there's a player there, and there's space, and that is an easy goal.
Love to see that identification of space. When there's kind of chaos in front of you, the one thing you can count on is that if you throw to space, the defense isn't going to be there. So great recognition by Calhoun. Put the disc out where there's room, where there isn't chaos, out towards that sideline, and finds the waiting hands of Lauren Lee.
We all appreciate you. Players appreciate you. Volunteers appreciate you. Thank you.
Lee, who played her college game at Georgia College. I think back before, really, they were even, the Southeast was really competing in D3. Now plays with Atlanta Outbreak.
Captains Atlanta Outbreak.
She's a very present figure in the Atlanta Ultimate community.
AJ Beard putting up a shot.
Beard putting up a jump ball.
Wow.
And Chinake coming up from the dead side.
Big block by Aramunya on the hanger from Beard.
Team Simpson off to the
Team
races
Simpson with a
now.
chance to strike. Mendoza.
Raymond Mendoza to Shanique Crawford.
Crawford on that open sideline. Simpson showing they have not been afraid to lose yards to get the disc off the sideline. Now here's an unbelievable play. Connection between Mosquera and Crawford, but it will not be for a goal. And now Crawford finishes it off with a hammer. So while Mosquera's assist was taken away, the shine was not on that lovely IO forehand, and Crawford comes down with the catch.
That was a very creative look. Chinny Crawford was in that narrow third of the field, very close to the disc, and Mosquera chooses to switch the field by using the middle third as the space by throwing that inside flick. A difficult throw to execute, and she makes it look so easy.
Very difficult throw, but probably made easier by having a great disc. And Innova is the world leader in disc design. They proudly support the color of Ultimate ATL. Let 30 years of disc design do the work for you and visit them at innovadiscs.com. Innova, the choice of champions. So Team Tuba now facing a deficit. Trailing by 3. They'll need to try and find their way out of it. Tuba and Izzy plotting on the sidelines to try and come up with a way to get them back into this one. Ben Fang up to Sinagini. Cardenas winds one. Lots of room in the back, but the throw hangs, giving the defender a chance to get in on it, but a foul call made by Georgia Say.
And that's Chupsi Lima on the D there.
And Willa Cardenas,
Randall Bug rules
sending a receiver Georgia C.
no foul, so it will be a block for Lima as you see the replay. Three-time captain of Georgia Tech.
Again with the disc. Change
Plays with
over.
Atlanta Bucket and showing you what you can add. Lee, one of her Bucket teammates, gets that one. Now looking for a reset, pressured, guns one into Hernandez, and he guns one deep. Perivier chasing,
Gabe Hernandez
but
trying to answer back by
not enough
sending
horsepower
Perivier
to catch up to that one. Sinagini ready to check in, marked by Palmer. Now Matt Smith looking deep. Tails to the break side, but Anders Olsen lines up the sky. Now into the red zone on a fast break. Finished off Olsen to Perez.
Anders Olsen to Hyman
So a
Perez.
response from Team Tuba right when they needed it, Jimmy.
Team Tuba
That-
answers back. Now with a chance on defense. Trying to breaking this game back a little closer.
That offense by Team Tuba utilized multiple players as they moved down the field. You can see Cardenas getting separation and could easily go every other on the throw, but Team Tuba uses really great flow to work it to the end zone.
Very difficult grab made by Olsen, but he quickly pressed the advantage, and the speed on that line. I mean, you're talking Manuela Cardenas, Anders Olsen, Matt Smith, Georgia Say. I mean, that was a fast line, and so once they got the advantage on you, they were not going to give it back.
You got you, Michelle.
So the crowd has rejoined us here at St. Pius, Tucker, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. We've got under a minute left now, 43 seconds. Again, if you're just joining us, we are playing with the Premier Ultimate League rules, so there will be one possession. The final possession will complete after the buzzer sounds. Devin Cox with the pull out of bounds. JLP's own. Been told he's an avid Magic the Gathering player.
Really?
I bet you he's not the only one here on this field.
You have some experience with Magic the Gathering, Keith.
I do,
Is
which
that-
I picked up from Coach Simpson. Coach Simpson taught me to play Magic back in my youth. He was pretty good.
playing against high school students.
Yes, picking on us, surely. But so a turnover, but there's also a stoppage.
We have an injury call. Yeah.
Badgett down with what seems to be an injury. So they're tending to Badgett now. And so, Jimmy, I remarked during our lightning break how something struck me watching this game, which I was watching a replay, and there's 3 players of color attacking a disc or whatnot. And I'm so used to seeing that be the minority that I kind of expected a more traditional makeup of players to approach the field, but instead it was just more players of color, and I keep finding myself surprised to see 5, 6, 7 players of color. I know there's 14 on the field each point, but like it continues to catch me off guard because I'm so not used to it. It's like very refreshing.
It's amazing to see that, and hopefully in the future it's not such a weird thing to look out onto a field and see a full line of POCs on there.
Celebrating players of color in Ultimate. Second annual Color of Ultimate game. Last year's taking place in Alabama. Now we're up in the A. Getting a full taste of that Atlanta summer weather.
Very nice grab by Shanique Crawford.
Shanique Crawford's athleticism. She pulls that one down to save possession before it hits the turf. Montagna holding the disc. Trapped on the sideline by Dana Rose. Excellent cut there from Ari Lozano to free up the disc. Really smart recognition of how the space was developing on the field. Attacks into that backfield from the stack. Makes it look like she's going reset. Hard plant, come right back into the open side. Intelligent play by the Whitman alum. Crowded reset space, but Team Simpson navigates it admirably, but can't complete another reset as that will end the quarter with time having expired. That was our final possession. So lose reset to Crawford, bounces off of her hands. So we're going to have a 2-minute break between these 2 quarters. We will roll into our next quarter in just a few minutes. We'll take a brief break for a word from our partners. Discs of the Color of Ultimate ATL. Aria believes in growing Ultimate, sharing the sport, and inspiring the next generation. With your help, we're here to make a world of difference. Learn more at aria.com.
If that is your ticket, you can go ahead and claim your spike ball set or your friction gloves from the concession stand.
So raffle prizes being given out during this brief break. Got about 30 seconds left.
Again, if your number is called, please make your way to the merchandise concession stand to collect your prize. We have ticket number 0382.
I want to take a moment to recognize another one of our partners, Innova.
Again,
They're proud to bring you the Color of Ultimate ATL.
You are a winner.
Weren't able to get to the halftime show, unfortunately, but you can still visit them at innovadiscs.com. Innova, the choice of champions.
You are both lucky winners. Please make your way over to the concession stand to claim your prize.
So as we get ready to start this third quarter
Is the official disc
of the Color of Ultimate
Aria disc,
Atlanta.
Precision disc technology.
Jimmy, you and I talked a little bit off air about
Again,
some of the
Spin
powerful
Ultimate
statements
is also
players
the
were
official
making
outfitter
in
of
the
Color of Ultimate ATL.
pregame forum.
Spin Ultimate, providing custom team
And
uniforms and ultimate apparel since
I know that I was really moved
Visit Spin on the
and
web
felt
at spinultimate.com.
really heard by the group.
Yes, there were so many instances of players telling stories and so many people around the room snapping, nodding their head because they could relate to the stories that some of their other fellow teammates, athletes in the room were also experiencing.
And I think one of the common themes that I picked up was that people had so often felt othered or alienated, not by anyone's intent, but just by being different. And particularly with the events that have taken place and the climate around the conversation around race in the U.S., I think that made a lot of people were citing examples of seeing current events and feeling like they really didn't have a teammate they could talk to, someone they could relate to. And not for lack of trying, but it's just hard when someone hasn't really walked in your shoes.
Right. And one comment that I found really powerful was one player mentioned that she wanted to turn to her teammates because those were some of the people that she was the closest to. But there were very few players on the team who had a similar experience or felt the same things. And it was difficult to have those conversations with players that weren't also POCs without having to feel like you have to lay the groundwork of a conversation surrounding race.
And this is not to say, we should feel bad for these players in the field. I think to the point is that by bringing more people of color into Ultimate, we can help solve that problem, which others may not even be aware is going on. Calvin Williams aware that Delrico Johnson was flying past him as he made that catch. So we are underway in the third quarter. Lee with a big backhand fake.
Nice
Near
grab.
turnover.
Sun Troy.
Troy making another play. And this live broadcast of the Color of Ultimate is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. Choi up the line against Bolton. Long reset for Williams. Big under for Foster. Great bidding catch there by Felicia Yang. Now her throw is on the money. Yang with that one on a rope as she sends it to Sun Choi over the head of Jesse Bolton.
Felicia Yang coming in for this game all the way from the West Coast, also known as Lish. Really also an engineer like myself. Very cool to see women in STEM.
Yeah, just engineered a score for this team. A great layout grab, and then to get up and immediately put a perfectly placed forehand. Very impressive work by Lish. And one of the topics that we approached in the forum today was talking about not just the experience of players of color, but anybody who's really felt othered by their various identities. And one thing that we haven't really touched on is gender. Obviously, the conversation around gender equity has evolved a lot in Ultimate, and I think that players were very conscious of it, very thoughtful about it. And the women out here in this mixed game have been on full display. Fang with the save and catch, and immediately rockets a forehand for Matt Smith, and again he goes up against Perivier. Tells his young teammate, gotta wait a couple of years before you come up against me, young buck. Matt Smith with the score.
And Matt Smith, a deep cutter, known for his prowess scoring goals for the Atlanta Hustle, spoke to his experience when he was in college. shared his story about being labeled as a squirrely Asian player and labeled as a handler because of that. And that was a story that he shared with me, and I asked him if I had his permission to share that on air, and I really appreciated that he was able to share that experience with us. And he went from being labeled as a handler in college to a really wonderful deep receiver on the pro scene.
I mean, he's one of the most feared deep receivers in the ATL and has been for some time. I mean, I remember when he started coming up to Atlanta from Alabama to play, I was like, who is this guy? This tiny, fast guy who's just roofing everybody in town. It was like the boogeyman had arrived.
A really great athlete.
And he's really integrated himself into the community here as well. Become a real fixture, coaching as organizational presence on top of what he brings on the field. Near poach block by Olsen, but tracked down by Mosquera.
I really appreciate that Anders pulled up. He saw that someone was coming in and decided not to make the play to avoid body contact there.
Mosquera with the around to Chidake. Anders less judicious that time.
Contested undercut from Byron Liu.
Anders and Byron, both Emory Juice alums, chain players at various points, know each other quite well. Let's just see that one again. I imagine this isn't the first time they have laid out against one another.
It's a fun matchup to watch. Young Emory versus more veteran Emory alumni.
Young Byron versus old Byron. Old Byron trying to drop one into the back of the end zone, but pops over the head of his target. Abdullah walks it to the front.
Zubair Abdullah with the disc.
Dixon cross field.
Alicia Dixon around Anders Olsen.
Reset, tracked down by Olsen, and now all the way across the field. So sideline to sideline. The
Devin Cox
Tuba offense goes.
wearing his friction gloves.
And now Olsen looking to the end zone. Mosquera in chase. Dana Rose fights her off for the goal. Or not. Rather the assist.
Yep, there it is.
Finds Noraya Bell Sims for
Really, really good pressure by Mosquera there, and great play by Dana to reel that one in. Get a second look at that.
Team Tuba within one.
Just by the fingertips.
The closing speed on display from Mosquera and the composure on display by Rose to fight that one off, and then even stay with it after not getting called in.
You can be the best ultimate player you can be. Learn more by visiting cut.camp.
Very good ultimate on display here.
And if you are in town or anywhere within driving distance, I think you probably got like 45 minutes, an hour, something like that. Please join Color of Ultimate players and fans at an after party at Hudson Bar and Grill. 15% of the proceeds will go towards Project Diversity. So you can get a little food, a little drink, and no guilt. Order something fried, why don't you? That's what we do around here. I went to Homegrown this morning. Homegrown Decatur, best breakfast you will find in Atlanta. Ran into Byron Liu and a couple of buddies there.
Ooh, I haven't been to that one yet. I'll have to add that to my list of Atlanta restaurants to visit.
It can get busy, but I highly recommend it. Don't make the mistake Byron made. Get the comfy chicken biscuit. Anything but comfortable catch by Felicia Yang as she goes horizontal to pull that in. And her throw into traffic
Looks
generates
like
a
we have
foul.
contested under catch involving Brandon Lee and Josh Fang. Josh Fang involved in the contested under grab. That's Josh Feng.
Lee checks it in. Little reset to Hernandez. Two-man game with Hernandez and Lee attacking the roll coverage. Perivier puts one up. Who else but Perivier on the other end? And she can't make the catch. Just a little too low as she tries to make the help play.
Unable to make the play on the other end.
We're so close to Perivier. I'm sure Dad Fred Perivier would be proud.
Oh, for sure. Also an ultimate player.
He is. Accomplished one at bat. Although I'm starting to think he might be outpaced by his prodigies.
You love to see that. You kind of set that foundation, and then you see your kids do even more.
So I think there may be a timeout call on the field, which is why you're seeing players walk on. Don't worry, folks. No more. I'm not going to say it. I'm just not going to win. Won't even go there.
When he was coaching the Cannons.
So the team's taking a timeout, which gives us a chance to say thanks to one of our gold sponsors, Competitive Ultimate Training. Cut camps offer once-in-a-lifetime summer training experience that will teach you to be the best ultimate player you can be. Learn more by visiting cut.camp.com.
I believe we have some cut camp counselors here on the field today.
Ah!
Yes, Andrea Palmer and Jesse Bolton both have coached at cut camp. Andrea Palmer actually just finished up coaching this past week there.
Now, I attended a youth ultimate camp when I was a youth player, and it was one of the best experiences of my ultimate career. So if you've never thought about it, highly recommend it. Also, great to see players of color in those leadership positions offering representation and role models.
Definitely.
No shortage of those on the field. Cross field to Bolton. Cartagena has to dig that one out. Great focus to keep that one all the way through the catch. Equaled by Rico. Rico, a throw to space. And Bolton does a great job to hold position.
Johnson airing that out.
Fighting off Brandon Lee for the goal. So just like that, back-to-back breaks for Team Tuba to tie the game at 13.
For Team Tuba.
So about 3 minutes remaining in this one. As you see, Bolton just leaving a little gift for the next person to come by the cone. Although it's actually just his teammates who have to go and retrieve that.
Team Tuba currently picking up steam here. Rattling off 2 breaks to bring the game back to 13s. Questions looming for Coach Simpson. How will they respond?
Team Simpson taking the biggest lead of the game
Anders Olsen
earlier, but we're 12-9, but that is quickly flipped, and this game all back to even.
But he gets a thumbs up like he does.
Perez on the pull.
Jaime Perez, the line drive pull.
Rawls back to pick it up. Played in the Denver area with
And Lauren Lee just playing
Bravo and
maybe just a field.
Inception.
Mark Rawls shared a really touching story. Oh, very nice D.
A really touching D there. Flying into the backfield.
Georgia C with the phenomenal
Georgia C.
layout D in the lane.
And now a chance to add a 4th straight goal for Team Tuba, and out of the hands of Feng into Matt Smith.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Feng
And he
Matt
shakes
Smith yet again.
the disc as his team takes the lead.
Tuba
Very
score.
nice.
So we talked a little bit about earlier in the game how things have been pretty honest, just matchup defense, and we still haven't really seen these zones. But you have started to see players start to sit in lanes, identify where they think the offense is and their opponents are starting to go, and Georgia C able to recognize that space that she could attack.
Yeah, very nice to do there. There's also been some nice switches on handler defense and on cutters that are going deep. Those have been quite nice. They happen so smoothly, so it might be easy to miss it because you don't notice when it happens, because it happens so quickly and so smoothly.
But yeah, to go back to you were mentioning a story that Mark Rawls had shared with us at the forum.
Yes, Mark Rawls shared with us. He played at Colorado with Mama Bird the year that they won nationals. And the next year, he had to take time off from school in order to take care of his family. And that is a really difficult thing to do, to step away from Ultimate, but family is something that is really important, and he made that decision afterwards. And one thing that I found really touching about his story was that he was in a difficult time, and he wanted to talk to his teammates about his family, but they had just won a national championship, and they wanted to go back and repeat the following year. And he struggled to turn to them to have those conversations. So I think that it's important to remember to be supportive of your teammates and remember that Ultimate isn't the only community that people may be a part of.
And Rawls bringing in another element of really trying. He talked a lot about trying to best understand his own identity and the challenges within that. And I think those are the kind of conversations that people need to be having, but it's helpful to be in a room where you feel like you're in a safe space.
Definitely.
A impressive score there for Team Simpson. Another Revo connection. Montagna with a mountain of a backhand to Mosquera, streaking deep. So 14-14 with 1:57 remaining in this third quarter. Reminder that we have moved to 8-minute quarters in response to our lightning delay.
Innova is the world leader in this design. Proudly supported
So
by Ultimate
Jesse
ATL.
Bolton looking to bring this out-of-bounds pull into play.
InnovaDisc.com. Innova, the choice of champions.
And this broadcast is brought to you by Aria Discs, the official disc of the Color of Ultimate ATL. Precision crafted with high-level play in mind and supporting growth and accessibility with every disc sold. Aria believes in changing the world through Ultimate. Learn more at aria.com. Thank you, Aria, for supporting the Color of Ultimate and Project Diversity. Harris underneath to connect and get her hands on that Aria disc on the field. And now a dancing up line cut for Christian Boxley. Had the chance to have Christian Boxley on the Ultra World Podcast Deep Look after he helped guide his Georgetown team 2 years ago to the college championships with an incredible upset on double game point with a greatest.
Amazing. That sounds like a really cool game to be able to be there for. Were you there for that game, Keith?
I was not. I've seen the tape. That you can find that play online. It is wild. I mean, it is like a deflected catch, Huck, greatest.
Wow.
To send a team to nationals. I mean, that's a forever memory.
Definitely in the highlight reel, personal highlight reel.
Beard, reliable and steady in the backfield. Now, on the red zone. Crossfield throw to space, and Johnson's there to bring it in with two hands for security. Cartagena finds Johnson for the goal.
With a saucy, buttery flick. to the break side. Del Rico Johnson with the score.
And we've talked a little bit about this, but that's, I think, another example of when there's not much going on in front of you, throwing to space, and particularly on that break side where your cutters already have the advantage, you can see Johnson just keeps his body on the primary line, and that prevents Hernandez from ever really being able to get back in front of him.
Very nice
I'd
recognition.
like to say, or take this moment, say this broadcast is brought to you by Aria Discs, the official disc.
It's particularly effective in the red zone, finding that break side space, that soft underbelly of the defense.
Every disc sold. Aria believes in changing the world through Ultimate.
And I would say that, in particular, Team Tuba has been really good about attacking that area in the red zone. You can recall Rico's scuba to the break side as well. Johnson getting his second goal to go with a pair of assists, making a good run at a potential player of the game. We will be bringing you our ARIA player of the game late in the fourth quarter. And a call downfield is going to stop play. And the horn going off to signal the end of the quarter. So this will be the final possession of the third.
This will be the final possession of the third quarter.
Felicia Yang up ahead to Kelvin Williams.
Felicia Yang finding Kelvin Williams. Back around to Mark Rawls.
Rawls holding, but a pick call.
Looks like we do have a pick call on the field. And a correct call for the parking lot.
And our observer crew making sure everything moves according to plan. Choi has Rawls taking off. Pump fakes and goes break side to Lee. But mishandled by Calhoun, so that will wrap the third quarter. Team Tuba with a 15-14 lead as we head into the fourth. We are going to take a brief break. A reminder that we are just in a 2-minute break here. We'll take a break for a word from our sponsors.
Okay, get your tickets ready, guys.
I know what I'm saying. Getting ready for the beginning of the fourth quarter, about 60 seconds away.
Please make your way to the concession stand.
This live broadcast of the Color of Ultimate is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. Spin outfitting our players with this tremendous gear,
In case you didn't realize,
of which I've yet to claim one, so there better be a large black,
look at it.
not equal jersey down there
You
for
also
me.
have ticket ending in 352. You're
Or I'll be
also
sad.
winner.
I'll be sad, Jimmy.
I hope you got one.
Thanks, Jimmy.
374.
You're an influential figure. I might have to have you pull some strings around here.
You are also a winner.
Can ask around.
Way up to the concession/merchandise stand to claim your prize.
So a reminder that we're in this last quarter, which will just be 8 minutes. I don't know if we're going to continue the stoppages. Usually in the fourth quarter, the last 2 minutes, the clock stops on all calls. I believe that will still be the case. Haven't heard otherwise. And our observer crew doing a great job. Randall Bugg, Caitlin Sudman, El Shaddai Gurma, and Mac Davidson. A reminder, El Shaddai and Caitlin in their first game observing after being certified at the Atlanta Soul Observer Clinic. Love it. So welcome two of the newest observers to the Southeast scene. I plan on seeing them at Club Nationals for many years to come.
Might be the first Club Nationals for some of them will be as an observer.
It's true. Yeah, I've actually proposed that every Club Nationals team should have to have a certified observer on their roster to increase the number of observers.
Yeah,
but also to make sure that every team knows the rules. You have to have at least one person who's certified knows the rules.
That would be an interesting system to set in place for that, yeah.
When we get to the point where teams are just taking an observer as their 27, they're like, whatever, let's just take the observer guy.
I think that's a great resource to have on a team. Someone who knows the rules, can be level-headed.
I mean, in a sport that's self-refereed, it's kind of ridiculous that one of the referees or multiple of the referees might not know the rules.
Right, and that's the players.
Quick advancement from this midfield position for Team Tuba, and Rose knocks the pins down as that one goes into the end zone for Devin Cox. Cox finding the end zone for the second time to make it 16-14.
Devin Cox with the friction gloves catch.
So Cox bringing that in to take a 16-14 lead. .742 remaining in the final quarter of this one. So getting ready to continue the fourth quarter with the pull coming out of the hands of Jesse Bolton. And Team Simpson with a little bit of a hole here, excuse me, so they'll need to respond. A little clumped up to start the possession, a little bit of confusion. Jacques Privier able to get open, finds Marie. And lots of Periviers right now, although Hernandez gets involved. And Marie is tearing up yardage, but not able to get the disc, and rather it is turned over. Bid from Hernandez, and now he's challenged deep, but instead the reset. Cartagena up to Boxley. Cartagena finds Jenny Choi, and now to the end zone from Bolton. Fang fighting in the air with Lee, and Lee gets the better of that matchup. 6:30 remaining as Simpson picks up. Perivier. She has been a woman on a mission downfield, but another reset error from Simpson, although a foul call may preserve possession. It looks like it's uncontested on the reset attempt. Hernandez continuing, though, to make sure everybody understands with another reactment. Hard under by Claudia Vasquez. Hernandez converting the forehand huck fake into an upline throw to Vasquez. And a nice job so far by Team Tuba preventing the deep throw. Finally, Perivier finds room, and Marie drops it off in the end zone for Felicia Yang.
Very nice
Simpson taking
Jack
their time,
Privier
working
to
the
Marie
distance,
Privier
down the
connection
field.
there to the goal.
Gets it over to Marie Privier, who uncorks an incredible shot to Felicia Yang for the goal.
To Felicia Yang.
I mean, Privier spent most of that point sprinting full speed with 10 yards of room around her. So it's only fair that eventually she gets an open side throw with room to make a deep shot.
Yeah, that was nice. She continued to move on the field, continuously running. And I thought that was an interesting matchup. AJ Beard, it looked like, was playing defense on her. And AJ Beard shared that she started playing Ultimate in 1996. And that's probably pretty close to when Marie was born.
We could probably math this out, right? It has to be. I mean, she's no older than 19.
Yeah.
Right?
So there's no way she's born in 2000. That
Yeah.
seems way too soon. So
No, you think that. You think, as a college coach, you think that, but it happens quickly. It's 2019.
It's 2019. There are 19-year-olds born in 2000. Yeah.
I remember when 2000 felt like the future. We're going to have flying cars and stuff.
Yeah, I remember sitting in my kindergarten classroom at the turn of 1999 to 2000 and people going crazy thinking that something wild was going to happen.
Yeah, well,
Century.
Y2, do you remember Y2K? And yeah, that was a
Yep.
great time. Great time for this Team Tuba offense as they advance past midfield
Team Tuba
with lots of room working the small ball.
down the field. Good movement.
Ben Fang over to
Jaime
Perez. Perez looks like he's lining up a hammer, and there it is.
Jaime Perez.
He and teammate Matt Smith on the same page
Over to Matt
with me.
Smith for the goal.
Team Tuba doing a really good job of using that break side. Could maybe consider a backhand force if you see that happening a lot.
I like that adjustment. Find a way to mix it up, make the angles of the field a little bit different, change the space that's going to be open on that break side. But, I mean, I think Perez was really looking at that the whole way. He was kind of waiting for Smith to make that cut.
Yep.
And Team Simpson with low on time. I mean, there's 4.5 minutes left in this game.
Where we'd like to ask the fans,
And we'd like to take this time
Team
to
Tuba or Team Simpson?
thank our gold
You are
sponsor,
pulling
Competitive
for
Ultimate
team.
Training. And then you mentioned they have a couple coaches here, not just Andre Palmer, but Manu Cardenas. So you can learn more about cut camps and how you can get access to wonderful coaching from experts like that
Team Tuba
by visiting cut.camp.com. So 17-15 with 4:36 remaining here
Simpson.
at St. Pius for the color of Ultimate ATL. And it has been just an awesome showcase of the talent and diversity present in the division. Scattered although it may be,
This is a house divided.
I think this is a long far cry from where we were when I first started playing.
Yeah, this game is really a celebration of these players. Really amazing to see them playing on an ultimate field all together, every single one of them POCs. It's really special.
Inside break all the way across field, and the continuation inside
Wow.
break. A big bid from Kat Smith.
Anastasia
Not
Foster
enough
with
to
the
stop
grab
Foster
for
from
a
getting the
goal.
score. And that was a much needed goal for
Contested
Team Simpson.
play. Excellent defense by Cat Smith.
Tight window there. Smith tries to close that door, but can't quite get there.
And again, fans, friends, family, you name it, please join the Color of Ultimate players at an after party at Hudson Bar
And
Grill.
chance to recognize Innova. They're a world leader in disc design, and they proudly support the Color of Ultimate ATL. Let 30 years of disc design work for you, and visit them at innovadiscs.com. Innova, the choice of champions. So Hernandez with a little turn after the pull.
We have two special announcements highlighting valuable players that we found during the game. We'd like to thank everybody participating here.
Rico looking deep,
Oh,
intercepted by Hernandez.
Shown that
Now in the hands of Mosquera.
can be accessible to all.
Perivier with the catch, and somehow the disc is dislodged, as is his hat. So Jack brings it in. Now Mosquera with a lot of room, but not a lot of action in front of her, although Perivier's taking off deep. Hernandez also coming into the area, deflected. Can Perivier catch up? No. A chance to tie the game. Not to be, so Team Tuba recovers possession.
Watching this Christian Boxley, Gabe Hernandez matchup has been very fun. The two of them, there is, and Gabe gives it right back to him.
Nice springy interception for Hernandez, his second block of the point on the underthrown huck from Cartagena. Now here's Mosquera. Hard under from Perivier, and then Perivier to Perivier as the whistle blows. I think a pick in the stack, but I don't know if it's good. Nope, it's a timeout. A timeout called just before the score. Team Tuba may have some cross looks for their coach. The chess match.
It's a chess match.
Yeah, one of those strategic differences, rule differences in PUL versus USAU rules is those timeouts that can be called by the coach on the sideline or a designated person for that makes timeout calls.
Think about his next chess match.
Yeah, I think it's
That's happening on
I think it's difficult in USA Ultimate to like bring that into the game without observers present. You kind of need that personnel on the sideline to make it easy to communicate. As much as a coach, I wish I could call timeouts sometimes. I think logistically difficult to execute.
Yeah.
2:24 remaining as Team Simpson gets ready to bring the disc back in, having had their coach take away a goal from them and taking away our long-awaited Perivier connection. So bringing the disc in, Jack Perivier, Mosquera streaks up the line and knocked away by Cartagena, but a foul call. Looks like it's uncontested. So a nice 10-yard gain for Team Simpson, who advances ever closer to potentially tying this game as we enter the final 2 minutes. And a small window throw is met by another call, and it looks like
foul call.
Boxley is going to agree it was a foul. Don't know if there's discussion about whether or not it was a strip. Boxley has vacated the premises, so looks like it will be a goal. A little anticlimactic, as most uncontested foul call scores are, but it is a tying goal. So Team Simpson brings it back to even 17-17 with a minute 58 remaining.
This has been a good game, back and forth in point lead. Great to see that back and forth happening.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of what we expected from two really talented teams that unfamiliar with one another and with each other. And, I mean, we've seen really tremendous play. Very skilled, intelligent, well-executed offensive sets. I've particularly been impressed by the handler play. When chaos has been happening downfield, the handlers have often been able to switch fields and create space for the cutters. And we'll see who can do that better. You got to give the edge to the team receiving, but 17-17, it's anybody's ball game right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that pull lands just in bounds and then saved by the pylon.
Very nice pull by Mosquera. Full 79 yards and landing right at the 80.
Cardenas over to Michelle Yang, and now Cardenas going every other. Cartagena looking deep. Jump ball.
Yina Cartagena finds Ben Fang on the
Ben
deep.
Fang wins that one and takes a timeout.
Strategic timeout call right in the end zone.
I like that timeout call in this tied game situation. You want to make sure that you punch this one in. So really like that timeout call by Ben Fang there.
In the announcing and commentating booth, we'd like to announce the player of the game. The ARIA player of the game goes to Elizabeth Mosquera for her incredible defensive efforts, as well as her magnetic hands on the disc. Always finding her.
And announcing our ARIA player of the game, Elizabeth Mosquera from Colombia.
Have a spin ultimate play of the
She has notched herself
game. We'd like to spotlight Delrico Johnson
one goal,
for
three goals,
for a goal.
as well as 2 assists for Mosquera. She's had a really great game.
Really fantastic. And
No surprise, given how she's been playing over these past couple months. And out of the timeout, a quick score for Manuela Cardenas. Back in the lead, Tuba up 18-17 with a minute 38 left on the clock. Please join the Color of Ultimate players and fans at an after party at Hudson Bar and Grill. 15% of proceeds will go towards Project Diversity. We hope to see you there. You can congratulate Delrico Johnson if you come out for his spin ultimate play of the game. Made that incredible sky earlier in this one, and then finished it off with the lefty scoober to the break side for the assist to AJ Beard. That is our spin ultimate play of the game.
And it looks like we're going to have Devin Cox ready to pull the disc here. Where
So JLP's Devin Cox with the pull.
Quality line drive, friction gloves, pull of the game there by Devin Cox wearing friction gloves.
And Sun Choi drives the disc off as he gets ready to start the offense. The short throw to Mark Rawls.
Sun Choi with a nice round to Kellen Williams.
Simpson able to get over to the break side. Working just the short throws. Working the unders right now.
Look to Mark Rawls.
Throw a little bit behind, but Calhoun tracks it down.
Really exploiting the break side field here.
Now 5 yards out. Williams with a little dish to Rawls, and what an efficient possession for Team Simpson. Brings it back to even at 18-18 and puts the pressure right back on Team Tuba with 54 seconds remaining.
Casual Jason Simpson cheer. Third. In the stands.
And all these short throws are so difficult to defend when players are moving immediately after they throw it, and you could see how that advanced them towards the end zone and then allowed the easy throw to finish it off. Great cutting doing the work for the throws.
Very great quick cutting by the men on that line. Moved it very quickly up the field.
So 54 seconds remaining as Mosquera gets ready to pull. Team Simpson in search of a break. Team Tuba trying to finish this game off. If you're Team Tuba, do you think you play a little possession here, drip the clock off a little bit?
Ooh, I like the idea of that, especially if they're on offense, just playing with the disc a little bit, maintaining possession, and then scoring with towards the end of the 40 seconds left.
Not seeing any options.
Forcing a high stall, contested throw, and Bolton's going to take his shot. Perivier trying to get in a position. Oh, my!
Wow, a very,
Delrico
very
Johnson
nice
with a flying catch, flailing limbs. Potentially a game saver and a game winner for Team Tuba. And into the end zone with just 12 seconds remaining.
Just like that,
Bolton
Tuba
dropping it off
exciting hold
for Boxley and
to 19-18.
Rico Johnson. I guess he heard that we named his other play the play of the game and says, you should have waited.
Jenny Choi.
Wow,
converting to play
very
that
nice
game
play.
for the rest of
Jack
the game.
was slightly out of position, puts his head down, runs to catch up with Del Rico, makes a really good defensive play, but Del Rico still comes down with that with a really amazing grab.
Yeah, it really was. Like Perivier did an excellent job making that difficult. I mean, you can't really ask for much more out of your defense if that's what the offense has to do to make the play.
Yeah.
So 12 seconds left right now.
Take this opportunity.
However, worth noting, they do not have to score in 12 seconds. They just can't turn it over within those 12 seconds in order to
Claimed a prize.
continue this possession. So
Have a raffle ticket.
Team Simpson going to get their chance to force us into overtime.
If you have not heard your number called, please make your way.
They do not have to throw some sort of Hail Mary here,
Claim your prize.
even though we're at St. Pius.
Thank you.
This broadcast brought to you by Aria Disc, the official disc of the Color of Ultimate ATL. Learn more at aria.com. Mosquera looking deep. Crawford with room. Brings it in. As the horn sounds, 19-19. Folks, I think we're getting some free Ultimate.
That was amazing. That was a play call on the line for sure. And a perfectly executed throw, perfectly executed cut by Mosquera to Shani Crawford there.
The player of the game to one of the organizers of the game to tie this one up at 19-19. And I think we're all winners now. I mean, we're all getting some extra of this fantastic Ultimate.
Love that. Definitely not upset that there's more game to be played, more game to be watched.
All right, folks, quick update for you. As we've come to the end of regulation play,
So
we're going to go into a sudden
death overtime.
situation.
Traditionally, we would do a 4-minute overtime, but we are a little tight for time here at St. Pius, so we're going to go to sudden death. And this is an odd situation, I think, in a showcase game like this, because these are all competitors. Everybody wants to be on the line. Everybody just wants to be out there.
Question mark. Anyone still sitting?
Yeah, I'm very interested to
There we
see
go. Okay.
what
Anyone
line
still sitting?
um,
There we go. Okay,
Team
all right,
Simpson
here
decides to
we
put
go.
out. It looks like Team Tuba has already decided 6 of their players that will be on this point.
All right, folks, I have to ask you one last time.
No
Are you
Yina
going for
Cartagena, no
Team
Rico
Simpson
Johnson
in
on this
sudden
line.
death golden goal opportunity?
But,
Literally, seasons are
folks,
on the
you
line.
are getting free
This is
Ultimate out of this. We're going to get a
remembered forever.
true sudden death double game point here.
Hey, heroes live forever, but legends never die. Sandlot, okay? Sandlot, great movie. But we have to get going. So are you pulling for Team Simpson? Everyone in the crowd? Team Simpson? Where are my Team Tuba fans at, huh?
All right, so Team Tuba sends out Matt Smith, Devin Cox, Kat Smith, Nariah Sims, Anders Olsen, and Yina Cartagena. Manuela Cardenas on the line as well.
And it looks like
Mosquera, Kelvin Williams, Montagna,
the tension is palpable.
Felicia Yang, Ari Lozano,
is going to be pulling. Elizabeth Mosquera.
Gabe Hernandez.
Another monster pull. Caster's Curse incoming. They've been fantastic all game.
And I believe Jakeem Polk is the 7th on this line for Team Simpson. One of these 7 will be the winner of the Color of Ultimate ATL.
Fantastic pull from Mosquera. Max Smith centers out to Yina Cartagena.
Cardenas.
Back to Max Smith.
This is a lot of speed out
Bring it
there
around, finds Devin Cox
with
precision
Smith,
gloves, grabbing the game.
Olsen, Cardenas, Sims.
Cartagena with the disc, surveying the field, finds Anders Olsen, local Atlanta product.
Olsen looking deep, Cox with separation, but Cardenas jumps the line, says that's mine, so is this game. Team Tuba claims the win.
Tuba secures the W and a fantastic nail biter.
And Cardenas just with a great read on this. Not sure which of that duo Olsen was targeting, or perhaps just a little bit of column A, a little column B. But Manuela Cardenas gets the game winner.
Very nice.
Tremendous end to a tremendous game, and what has been an experience bigger than the game. Even though Team Tuba gets the 20-19 win, which I'm sure Tuba will lord over Coach Simpson. I think, as cheesy as it is to say it, I'm going to say it. I feel like we're all winners here.
I would agree with that sentiment. This has been a wonderful experience, a wonderful game, wonderful conversations that were had before the game, building up to this entire event.
And I think that rather than thinking of this game as the culmination of the work of the AFDC Project Diversity, you have to think of this as the beginning. I mean, this is a celebration of these players and the wider people of color community within Ultimate, but also a recognition of the work left to be done. And it's people like Shanique Crawford, like Lauren Lee, like Josh Fang, and like the players and leaders and community members that are here participating that are going to help us get there. But they will need your help as allies, as supporters. Step up in your communities. Speak up for people if you're in a position of privilege. And if you're in a position to represent your community and you're able and want to do that, consider it. Consider your ways to contribute. We all have our part to play. And for some people, that's a very front and center part. And for others, it's not. But I think everybody has something to contribute to making this community a better place.
I think so. I think just having those conversations is a great starting point. And I think that is one of those things that this game has offered. It's started conversations in so many different communities, especially having players from all over the U.S. They have a tie to this game. I have so many feelings just by this game happening, and I'm so happy, so grateful that the organizers and for all of the work that has gone into making the Color of Ultimate ATL game happen.
Absolutely, and so much thanks to not only the organizers, but the players for participating, the fans for coming out, the sponsors for helping make this game happen, including those who donated online. Even if you weren't a company, if you're just an individual trying to help out, it's so appreciated. The proceeds are going to be used to help make positive changes in this community for people of color. It's been a great honor again to call this game, Jimmy. I'm so glad that I was able to join, so I greatly appreciate the organizers allowing me to be a part of it and the players being open and vulnerable and sharing with me and inclusive towards me in my presence. So I can certainly express my sincere thanks as well.
Amazing. It's been a pleasure commentating with you, Keith.
It's been great doing this, Jimmy. I'm sorry that you had to be here with me, but I'm glad that we got to do it together at least.
Yes, the knee injuries definitely didn't allow me to be on the field, but I'm very glad that I was able to be up here in the commentating booth.
I also think that you could, like, you're definitely worth at least a goal. So, like, I think Team Simpson wins this game with you.
I appreciate you saying that.
Well, we definitely thank you, fans, for joining us for this broadcast. I hope that not only was it entertaining and fun for you, but also open your eyes and makes you feel motivated to help the people that you know and help your community. But thank you for joining us for the Color of Ultimate Atlanta. It's been an excellent experience, but signing off for Jimmy Matsunaga and the crew here just outside of Atlanta, I've been Keith Rayner. It's been a wonderful game. Team Tuba wins 20-19. We'll see you on the other side, hopefully at Hudson Bar and Grill.